Yo, what is going on, you horrifying Happini? Today, we're playing some games with Morpeko VMAX. It has been a while since I played any games with Morpeko VMAX, but I thought I'd give the deck another try. It's always been a super fun deck for me. I've always really enjoyed playing the Morpeko VMAX. This deck operates very similarly to Pikarom. If you don't know how it works, try and turn 1 Boltund going second, and then we attack turn 2 with the Morpeko VMAX, doing 80 damage, and then 20 damage to all of our opponent's bench Pokemon, but we increase it with that Telescopic Sight to 50 damage. So we're doing 50 damage to all of our opponent's Vs and GX Pokemon, I guess I should say. 20 to the non-Vs and GXs. So over 3 attacks, if we've got 3 attacks with Telescopic Sight, we can do 150 to something like a Dedenne, and then we got a 1/1 Orbeetle VMAX in here to be able to use the Orbeetle VMAX's ability to do 10 damage to all of our opponent's Pokemon while it's in the active, which can KO stuff like Dedenne. So yeah, very similar, like I said, to kind of like a Pikarom. Use Boltund first, follow up with that turn 2 big attack, full blitz for Pikarom. For us, it's the Morpeko VMAX. And then that's it. We hit with Morpeko VMAX a couple times. Sometimes we get enough energy in play where Boltund becomes quite the threat. That happens now and then. We also play 2 Aurora Energy in the deck, so we can actually attack with the Orbeetle VMAX if we want to. Really good against stuff like Colossal, anything that's weak to grass, of course, but sometimes it just comes in clutch against something like even like a Scorch. It can be really good. Of course, we got the Koko Prism and a Phione here, because sometimes we hit our opponent's active really hard, specifically like up against like a Zacian. We hit that Zacian for 180. If we hit it for another 180, that's 360 damage, so it's kind of a little bit of wasted damage. And sometimes we'll have the boss around the Zacian and then knock out the Zacian off the bench with the spread damage, but also get the Phione in here to make that a little bit easier to pull off sometimes. And then a couple reset stamps, because it's just always a good card to have. Stamping our opponent to 1 or 2 can't hurt to help us make a comeback. 4 Speed Lightning, 6 Basic Energy, 3 Air Balloon, 4 Switch for some mobility, 4 Calm, 4 Quick Ball for the Pokemon search cards, and of course 4 Research for Marnie as the draw supporters. And that's the list. Let's play some more Pika. All right, going first in this first one. Our hand is, we need just like a top deck Morpeko VMAX or something. That'll make this hand okay. See what our opponent's playing. It is... I see Big Charms, so that's throwing me off a little bit. I see Evolution Incense, that's also throwing me off a little bit. Maybe Green's Scorch. There's a Keelan and Cynthia. Oh my gosh, 12 mulligans. We're going first. 12? This? Attach. I don't know what to do. Can go like Quick Ball Lightning. We can actually like pop the Togekiss right now before we potentially get Marnie. We saw they did play Marnie. The Beetle. Bench the Beetle. Quick Ball the other Lightning. Grab. We could just get Boltund in play. I don't hate the idea of that. Let's grab the option of a Boltund. I don't think I'm gonna put it in play though. Dance. We got like everything we need for next turn in the hand. We're not gonna potentially keep it all if they do Marnius, but I don't think I'm gonna do anything else. I'm just gonna pass. Yeah, we're at attachment. 12 mulligans. What? Here comes some Crushing Hammer, so we might need some assistance from our buddy Boltund here on the next turn. Still, and this kind of makes me wish I hadn't played so aggressively with the Koko, but it should be fine. Overall, it's not like that big of a deal, I don't think. We know it's just go into the Boltund and kind of go from there. And I mean, if they Crushing Hammer like the Speed Lightning like they should, then it's not gonna make that big of a difference either way, right? So yeah, it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. A Welder and a Crushing Hammer. So yeah, it's Welder, Togekiss, VMAX. That's what we're up against here. That is a heads. I think they got rid of the wrong energy there though. And that should be game as long as we can find an energy this turn, which I am going to look for here very heavily. Because they are, if you didn't know this, weak to lightning. So I think I'm just going to go switch Dedenne change. Like or switch research. We just need an energy. I want to conserve. Well, I could go like keep Phione, discard another Boltund, and then like calm the bat, and then get rid of like this guy instead maybe, and then research, and then Just need energy. And then, yeah, that's a dub. 12 mulligans is pretty good. It's probably going to be a pretty good matchup no matter what, though, with them being weak to lightning. I guess they could play, like, weakness guard energy in here, for sure. They could definitely play weakness guard energy, but, yep. Donk. All right, let's do this again. Maybe our opponent won't mulligan 12 times, and we'll have a little bit closer of a match. Really good start here, except for the double reset stamp alongside the research. Because that kind of means we might have to research away reset stamp, which we definitely don't want to do. But we'll take a look at what our opponent's got going on. Snorlax. So I'm looking at Beetle. Oh, it's Cinderace. Good matchup, bad matchup. I'm not sure. We're going to find out, I guess. They can't one-hit KO a Boltund, so that's good. Losing both our reset stamp is not good. Don't think it'll be that big of a deal. I mean, I don't love the idea of losing both my reset stamps, but I don't know. I think worse things could happen, you know? So I'm gonna hold on to everything there and electrify. Morpeko is ready to go, or just about. I think this is a matchup where I do still want to set up the Orbeetle, but I don't think it's worth the risk of it, basically, because they can one-hit KO the Orbeetle VMAX for 2 prize cards because it is weak to fire. So I think I'm just gonna like give up on the Orbeetle in this game completely, which should be fine. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. I could have put the Telescopic Sight here, I think, at the very least. I could have held the balloons with Telescopic Sight here. I doubt they actually even play any GXs or V Pokemon, but probably still a mistake to not have done that. All right, we got the attack though, so that's what we're looking for. There's a boot. There's a Mincino, and then here comes that Gourmandize for 4 is what I'm gonna guess. No energy in the discard pile yet for them, but they did attach one here, so they'll lose that one, I guess. Heavy on the U-turn boards. Okay, I guess it makes sense. The only way I've played this deck and seen this deck, but it's been in the ADP banned tournaments, so usually there's air balloons, but I guess it makes sense to have the. Maybe we should try and just get value out of the Boltund now and just attack with Boltund. Or do you want to spread? Now I have this boss. I'm going to KO the reboot, I think. We can use the Boltund at some point. I think I should go ahead and get another Morpeko VMAX in play as well here. I don't see a reason not to, basically. And then, yeah, just max discharge. Because this could mean that they maybe won't be able to attack this turn. They could be like another turn to spread damage into play. Maybe I'll bench the baby beetle, and maybe I'll VMAX it at some point because the Cincinos have 90 HP. So if I get like 4 spreads off, and I can't quite get that 5th spread off to close out the game, maybe we could go like 1 Orbeetle spread, just like evolve it, spread, win the game. So I might put the Orbeetle V in play. If they ever want to go chase that, that means I can get the odd prize exchange or whatever. Like they go down to 5 and they still need to get through another VMAX. So that's what I'm gonna throw on my active. So we could just bench the V but not make it a VMAX until we want to make that spread happen, and then go spread, swing, try and take over the game from there. And they sent up Snorlax here, so that makes me think that they're pretty much invested in using Snorlax again. Here's another Marnie. So these Marnies have been super helpful for us. They keep refreshing our hand. We kind of don't have a whole ton going on, and then they just give us more cards. So there's like upsides and downsides to like Marnie. Frequently this is kind of the upside of Marnies, where it's like we don't have a whole ton going on with our hand, but our opponent keeps Marnieing us, which means we just keep getting new cards to work with. Yeah, so these are like the upsides of like getting Marnied constantly, is we kind of just like exhaust all the resources in our current hand, and then we get Marnied and get a bunch more resources to work with, and just kind of repeat. So they definitely need another score bunny here, because if we actually get another boss, then we can just boss KO the reboot, and then they just can't Cinderace next turn, and then we get another turn to work with, just kind of spread for free. And at that point, the game might just be too far out of their hands. At this point, I think it's still winnable for them. Here we go with a quick ball. They need to get, yeah, score bunny. Okay, so now even if I boss KO the reboot, they could just go candy Cinderace. So they have like a comeback, a fallback to work with. Whereas without that, they actually just wouldn't. But still maybe boss the reboot if I get a boss, though, to be honest. Do we get... Got the boss. I'm thinking about it. I think I will boss KO reboot. Also, this means I kind of just leave the Snorlax in play, which means it's like constantly clogging my opponent's bench, and it's just like something they don't want in play, which means I do want it in play. If my opponent doesn't want something in play, then that means usually I want it in play. So this kind of works out pretty well overall. Okay, so now they just have the Snorlax in play on their bench, which isn't too big of a deal. Like they have 2 bench spaces open, and one of them's a score bunny, so they do have plenty of bench space to work with overall. But you know, more annoying than not, I would think, for sure, to have that Snorlax on the bench as opposed to just getting knocked out. Like, if I'm gonna draw a prize card this turn, they probably want me to draw the prize card on the Snorlax. Another Cinccino. I'm sure they're digging here for, I mean, I don't know. They're kind of in a tough spot. I don't know. What would they be digging for here? More. There's another Marnie. This hand would have been fine. We had energy in it, but like, good chance we just see energy off this Marnie as well. Yeah, energy and the research. We can go attach, research. Get the Beetle V in play, like I mentioned, so we can kind of KO these Cincinos a turn earlier. If we can get to that Beetle VMAX. And then, I don't know. It's just looking really good. They're in a really bad spot. They have the energy set up now. They need just Candy Cinderace, which they're through quite a bit of their deck at this point, and they've seen 0 candy so far. No candies discarded or anything. Now here comes the Calm. So I expect, well, that's getting rid of a Cinderace. Maybe they don't have the candy still. Let's see here. What are they grabbing off this Calm? And it's just a concede. All right, I guess, yeah, just chasing the reboots. They were never able to find the candy plus Cinderace. And if we leave the reboots in play, they can always just evolve that into a Cinderace, which we see they had. So yeah, chasing reboots does the job and get a dub. Another one, gonna go second. Definitely want to go second. Just turn one Boltund. Ooh, we got the Boltund and the switch and the energy, so we're just short a target for the Boltund. The bad start, of course, not great, but we can live with it. It's a trap pinch start for our opponent. So this is where we really want to get the excuse me, Orbeetle involved for sure as our attacker. We do play those 2 Aurora Energy that allows us to make that happen. So that's going to be our goal here. Set up the Orbeetle, and both pieces are in the deck. So set up Orbeetle. We probably still, I mean, like if we only draw into a Morpeko, which is more likely than an Orbeetle, we'll still probably set up the Morpeko. But yeah, we need to get Orbeetle online as well. There's Pico. We can get the Orbeetle with the Quick Ball. Peek. Grab Orbeetle V. Then electrify 2. We might just electrify 2 turns in a row, to be honest. 2 Aurora. They're both in there. Gotta find the Beetle. We'll probably electrify 2 turns in a row here. We'll see. I'm gonna go 1 and 1. Because, like, yeah. Because if I put 2 on, I want to be able to this thing to attack immediately. Even though we have the Koko Prism in the deck, I don't want to rely on the Koko Prism. And if I draw Speed Lightnings, I want to be able to attach those to the Morpeko. If I put both on Morpeko and then I draw Speed Lightning, I don't want to put it to the Orbeetle V and then be like, oh, I'm trying to set the Orbeetle V. And we can also attach Speed Lightning to the action just attack with the active this turn. Would only knock out a doll. They only have 1 energy in play. So basic energy. We could just swing. They didn't do a whole ton on their turn. It doesn't mean their hand is dead. But it does mean they didn't do a whole ton on their turn, so I'm going to go ahead and play Marnie. We do need to find those Aurora Energies. We do need to find the Aurora Energies. I am going to plan to attack with Boltund this turn. There is the Morpeko VMAX. I don't really want a VMAX, though. I'm going to throw the sight on it. And just Bolt Storm for the knockout. This will allow them to use Rosa, but we didn't draw a prize card, so they can't use the Karate Belt to actually attack this turn. So it's kind of fine. Yeah, it's fine. Not worried about it. And I kind of don't want to take a knockout again until maybe I find the Orbeetle VMAX plus the Aurora, because that's important to find. We have to find it as well. Even though it is an out for us, if we don't have it, we don't have it. So we can't use it. And I don't want a VMAX either, because if I VMAX, it's kind of 3 prizes sitting on my bench as opposed to 2. Like, they knock out Morpeko just the same way they knock out Morpeko VMAX. Like, they just attack it and then it dies, and then we're like, all right, we just go down 3 prize cards instead of 2, right? So there's no reason to really they play Weakness Guard Energy. Well, that would have been really good on the Vibrava. I don't know if they see my Beetle here with an energy or not. Yeah, definitely going to chill. We could go with a boss this turn. Could boss KO this Trapinch. Oh, it evolved. All right, so we're probably just content with knocking out the active plus Marnie. But yeah, not going to evolve the VMAX, because if they knock out the Morpeko V, it's 2. If they knock out the VMAX, like I said, it's 3. So it's just kind of just giving them access to an extra prize card. Marnie, again, it's our 3rd Marnie in a row now. Yeah, we got the Speed Lightning, so we can attach that to the Morpeko V. There's the Aurora. No VMAX yet. I'm going to go ahead and Air Balloon the Crobat. And then Bolt Storm, knock out the Snorlax. I could have used Phione here, but they would have probably just pushed up the doll. But I guess I could have used Phione here. I mean, yeah, I could have used Phione here. I guess they would use the doll, which means they can't Karate Belt, I guess. And I get rid of a doll, which I might have to get rid of anyways eventually. Maybe it was correct to actually Phione there. But getting rid of the Lax always feels good, because then if they have to go into another Snorlax, like they do right here, we kind of get another prize card from that. Yeah, because we did hit him with the Marnie that turn as well. So there's the Karate Belt. Both Karate Belts. Okay, so they actually drew pretty well there. They got a bunch of stuff in play working. So now I'm scared of the Evolve Energy Boss on my Beetle. That's what I'm scared of here. So I really want to VMAX this thing this turn to, yeah, get it alive, keep it alive, something like that. With the Aurora, do I have any energy in here? I do not. Aurora here. Discard Boltund, I think. Once again, I don't want to VMAX. Go ahead and quick ball away. I guess because we're just gonna Dedenne change here, I think, right? Yeah. And I'll bench Phione, but I'm not gonna VMAX once again, because it's just kind of like, it's just worth 3 prize cards now, which like doesn't make a whole ton of sense to give my opponent that option. There's the calm, so that's great, because it gets me this Orbeetle V, and we play around the potential for it to get knocked out on our opponent's next turn. Go VMAX. Can keep everything else in the hand, I think, and just go ahead and draw another prize card. Now here's where things are going to get interesting. Our opponent should finally be able to attack. If we had a Marnie this turn, who knows? Maybe we could have locked them out of the attack for one more turn. Oh, but they go sending up the Mew here, which is interesting. This makes me think that they don't have a good play this turn, and are maybe just going to have to stall out one more time. We'll see. Maybe they have a Bird Keeper. Maybe they're trying to Bird Keeper into a doll, and then go from there. Maybe they need to go back into a Snorlax again. They've been drawing really poorly if they have to go back into a Snorlax again. They did recover a Snorlax. And the Flygon. There's a Marnie. So they don't have anything yet. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of an unfortunate draw there for them. The Marnie could still get them there. We'll see. Just a pass. Alright, I'm gonna make sure what I'd want to get rid of. Research. We only have one boss left, so I could just hold the hand, but I kind of want to grab access. I want to get access to Reset Stamp. Yeah, we can get rid of this, I think. Excuse me. Yeah, we can get rid of the Morpeko. And there's just the concede, apparently. Okay. Maybe they just realized what Orbeetle VMAX does. I have no idea why they would concede there, but we get another dub with the Morpeko. And that's going to do it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow.